Hi guys, this is Brian Capone from the Capone For Your Home team at Berkshire Hathaway Home Services, Fox and Roach Realtors in Center City, Philadelphia. For our video blog number 2 today, we're going to talk about radon. What is radon? Radon is a naturally decaying, I should say, gas that comes from the decay of uranium. So it's found in the soil. It's not specific to the home, but it's specific to the ground in which a home is built on. There was a time period when I bought my house in Patchogue Square in, I guess, 2005. We didn't even test for radon. They say it is the second or one of the leading causes of lung cancer. It's odorless, it's colorless. But there was a time period when just people didn't even test for it. But as times change and people want to do all of their due diligence, people are pretty much testing it as standard. Definitely in the suburban parts of the area, and really in Center City as well. Although we don't see it as often. Over the years it has definitely come up. The frequency, I usually say maybe 2 in every 20 transactions. It's spotty. You'll see it in parts of South Philly. You'll certainly see it in parts of Northwest Philly, where the soil is rockier. So whether that's Chestnut Hill, Roxborough, Manayunk, I guess even parts of Mount Airy, and then certain suburbs as you go further out, the prevalence is much, much higher. The test is you're looking for something called picoliters, is what the Environmental Protection Agency uses to gauge how much radon is in a particular home. The basement is going to have a higher levels, higher concentrations, because that's closer to the soil. And as you go further up in the home, you would think you would see lower levels. Anything over 4.0 picoliters, and the EPA suggests remediation. How is it tested? Just part of your normal home inspection. Either your home inspector does it, or you'll have an environmental inspector, oftentimes the person who's also doing your termite inspection. They'll literally set up little canisters or electronic reading equipment that takes air samples at certain intervals. I don't know if it's every minute or every 5 minutes, but they do that over a 48-hour period. You can come and go, so normal doors opening and closing are fine, but they want the windows shut. You obviously can't have the windows wide open while you're taking air samples, because it's not going to give you a true reading. So they take that over a 48-hour, sometimes even a 72-hour period, depending on everybody's schedule. And then they'll take the average. If it's below 4.0, you're theoretically good to go. If it's above, then they will suggest remediation. Other people will say 48 to 72 hours isn't enough, and they want to have a longer period. So you'll see some people who do a test for over 30 days and average it out over 30 days, because I believe there are some, and this may be a myth, don't quote me, there may be some environmental factors that impact your readings. I've heard if you've had a lot of rain in the last few days, that can sometimes artificially increase or decrease your radon readings. I'm not quite sure. Solutions, it's 100% correctable. For anywhere between $1,000 and $2,000, this just came up in another transaction we're doing. I haven't done one recently, so I don't know exactly where prices are, but certainly not much less than $1,000. A contractor, a specific radon remediation contractor, will install a remediation system. They basically drill a hole in the ground, they add some piping in the basement, and they vent it to the exterior of the home, oftentimes above the roof line. And they have a fan that basically runs constantly that sucks the air out from the basement or the ground below, all the way out up to the exterior of the building. So theoretically, those air samples that have radon in them are now being removed from the basement and going up to the exterior of the home. There's a gauge on there that literally reads what the radon levels are at that time, and then they have examples of the electric cost of what it costs to run that. It's really not that high. It's like literally dollars. I want to say pennies, but it's dollars annually, because a lot of people say, well, I don't want this machine humming and using up electric as it runs all the time, but the actual number really isn't that high. So it's 100% correctable, and then that can stay with the property if that owner goes and sells it. They can usually the buyer can just read the machine and note that it's working properly, but someone can obviously retest and do the same process. So Radon in a nutshell, a long video blog this time, way longer than I wanted to, but if you have any questions, let us know. Brian Capone, the Capone For Your Home team, Berkshire Hathaway Home Services, Fox and Roach Realtors, Center City, Philadelphia. Thank you.